Hi everyone, I'm Natalia. Welcome to my channel. Today I would like to share with you my top 3 tarot decks to help you start doing two things. One, to help you ideally start seeing Rider-Waite-Smith imagery differently, and I'll talk about it in a little bit. And the second thing that I hope that today's video is going to help a lot of you to do is to start getting more creative with reading tarot deck, allowing yourself more play, letting go of a lot of control. And I'll talk about it to explain exactly what I'm talking about, because these are the things I have been struggling with. These are the things that I, to some extent, still struggle with. For starters, we have all, well, not we have all, let me rephrase. For starters, a lot of us did start out reading tarot by using Rider-Waite-Smith. I'm sorry about the light. I'm sitting in front of a window and I've been, yeah, this is what we get today. I know that for a lot of us, we have started reading tarot. I certainly did using Rider-Waite-Smith system. And so as a result, what happens for a lot of us is that we get so stuck in our headspace with seeing images, tarot images, through the representation of Rider-Waite-Smith. I know that a lot of us have talked about it. A lot of us have tried to move away when we're working with other tarot decks. For example, if you're working with Mary L tarot, or if you're working with decks that are far away stray from being Rider-Waite-Smith cloth. I know that a lot of us have struggled with when we look at the, for example, Six of Pentacles that other artists have depicted, we just can't help but have this image come up in our headspace. It becomes very, very imprinted in our mind. And a lot of times, no matter what we do, it's very difficult to escape, because no matter where we turn, we still see the stack everywhere and in everybody's hands. And so for that reason, I have heard over the years a lot of people express frustration when they started off learning with the stack, wishing they would have started learning tarot with a PEEP deck, where they really trained their brain to look at any deck and not necessarily superimpose images of Rider-Waite-Smith. I know that I have struggled with this and continue to struggle. It took me a long time not to see this. And the 3 decks that I will show hopefully will help you to start seeing tarot more creatively. Another thing that I want to address today is our tendency, and this definitely comes from my personal experience, our tendency to be very, very anal and very rigid when it comes to tarot. What do I mean by that? What I mean by that is when we learn tarot, we undoubtedly learn that there's 78 cards. There are minors broken down into different elements. There are majors broken down into major archetypal aspects of life transitions. There are court cards. So we learn the foundation and fundamentals of the tarot. At least those who started off reading tarot through some kind of teaching method will learn that. And those who started intuitively sometimes also go on to learn the foundation and the fundamentals of the tarot. And when we learn the structure of the tarot, we tend to cling very closely to the structure of the tarot. What I mean by that is and I think it's almost like a safety thing, because if I learn this within the scope of 78 cards, then not only do I feel safe doing reading for myself and for others, but also I think that element of safety that comes with that is that part of me feels, believes that because I have learned this particular 78 cards and the foundation and fundamentals, then there is an accuracy in reading. Versus if I got a deck that is its own, let's say 150 card system, unless I really master the foundations of the deck, I can't trust my inner knowing. I can't trust what I'm reading. When Tim Pai did a video on reading challenging decks, such as Mary L., Jonathan Giles, Herb Crafter's Tarot. This is what I'm talking about. Sometimes we get to the point where decks that artistically stray really far away from what we know image-wise as these images, we have a difficult time. It's almost like we don't have a permission to assign our own meanings, or we don't have permission to just go there and play. And so I think there becomes a rigidity where we cling. I certainly did for the longest time. We cling and we have almost a fear to stray away from the system. It makes me think of children's playground. You know, when you go to children's playground and you start playing around in a children's playground, and at first you go there as a child and you go there with your parent, and you, at least some kids, they go, they play, but then they always look around, is mom still there, for that feeling of safety? And some kids, they just cling to mom, they won't go away. It reminds me of the same thing, where this becomes so anchoring in our practice that when we stray from it, it makes us feel uncomfortable. It brings up tension. It brings up certain things. And I think as adults, especially, we lose touch with playfulness. We lose touch with our intuitive knowing. I think this is why so many of us struggle with very out of the box tarot decks. So the 3 decks that I'm going to show you today will aim to help you start seeing just imagery a little bit more creative, and also is the most important thing that I hope is going to do is going to help you get more creative, or maybe will instigate some internal play within you, or to allow to use even decks you have now with a different approach than the approach you had before. So, and 2 of the decks are going to make you feel quite safe to be able to do that. The first deck, so let's say you have these images stuck in your head. You want to start, for starters, let's just say you want to start looking. Let's just say you just want to start looking at this 2. Let's say you want to start looking at 4 of Cups and 9 of Swords differently. You're tired. This is what you see no matter what deck comes across. You're tired of looking at it, and this image comes up, this image of apathy, this image of nightmare. You want to start looking at it differently. Well, the first deck that I would recommend is an indie deck. It's fair. I think it's not fairly, it is quite inexpensive. I'll link it below. Is Tony Leon, I think it's called Labasque Tarot, I think. I'll link it below. Let's have the camera capture. It is very Rider-Waite-Smith. Let me find 4 of Cups, and let's find our 9 of Swords. It is very, very Rider-Waite-Smith inspired. One of the reasons why I'm recommending it is precisely because it will feel very familiar to you. But another reason why I'm recommending this to you is because there is so much playfulness in it, that even though you are looking at this deck, and even though you're still seeing Rider-Waite-Smith, because of the fun and playfulness, it undoubtedly drags you down into the child self, and it helps you start seeing something different, some things that you have not seen before, some things that maybe you have not really thought of before in regards to a particular card. And I think that's when we're able to do that, and when we're able to experience that, I think that's just incredibly, incredibly helpful. Of course, these 2 cards are probably going to be at the very end of the deck, as always happens when people make videos. And they're like, let me find it, and then they can't find it. Oh my God, did I miss it already? Wow, unbelievable. Okay, I probably should have done it before, but let me just, sorry guys, because I think this will really illustrate the point really well. If you don't know this deck, it is independently, I found 9 of Cups, which looks quite apathetic actually. But let's find our 4. I hope the deck is not missing any cards for me, because I've been playing around with it, and I've been playing around with this for some times. So bear with me. Yes, I found 4 of swords, which I showed today in my video with Cassia. Sees the fact that I can't even find it just shows you how it is quite. Okay, so we found our 4 of cups, and now we found our 9 of swords. Okay, great. So let's say this is the image that's stuck in your head. And no matter which tarot deck you look at, this is the image that comes up. And you're so sick of it. And you just want to start seeing 4 of cups differently. Now, let's see if the camera is going to capture this guy's. Oh, there we go. Look at his face. Look at his face. So we still have rendition of Rider-Waite-Smith, but look at this face. The way this deck was done and the way it was created and the way it is so playful. You can't stop but you can't just help yourself. You're still drawn in the world of Rider-Waite-Smith. You still see similarities. You're still kind of, your mind wants to pull on this, and maybe it even will. But now you're seeing this. And now you are, first of all, hopefully you're smiling. Hopefully you're laughing. When we smile, when we laugh, a whole thing opens up. When we smile, when we laugh, the possibilities are open. We are a child. We're connecting with our inner child. And look at this. This guy has 3 cocktails in front of him. Has my favorite martini. Hopefully he's drinking dirty martini, extra dirty, extra gin, extra olive, and extra gin. Why not? Then he's drinking something else and some other cocktail. And he's finally being offered a bottle of what looks like champagne. And he's just not happy. None of those drinks, none of those options make him happy. None of those options are good enough. So you see how just even the image itself just takes you to you're still with Rider-Waite-Smith, you're still feeling safe. And for those of you who feel like, oh no, you don't want to give out any of your control at all, in terms of, remember the childhood that I explained, the playground. You don't want to sway too far from your anchor. You're not swaying too far from your anchor, and yet you're having fun. Look at this one. Again, we're still seeing anxiety. We're still seeing nightmares. But the fact that this card is very Rider-Waite-Smith, but it takes you out of the bed and into a chair, already shifts something with a new perspective, already kind of enables you not to bring up necessarily immediately this image. And you're seeing this guy is really having a hard time. He's really thinking about a difficult situation. He didn't just dream of nightmare. He is literally experiencing nightmare. This is a deck that I would so recommend to any of you who still want to feel like you are within 78 card system. You are still got your structure. You still got your foundation. You still got your fundamentals, but you are now not being enslaved, or at least you're working through the stack and having fun with it. And it helps you not to be so enslaved with just sticking to Rider-Waite-Smith imagery. So this would be the first deck that I recommend for all of you to try to play with if you feel like you're really stuck with seeing Rider-Waite-Smith only through the lens of Rider-Waite-Smith. A lot of the cards that we already know, a lot of the cards that we're familiar with. For example, this one, 6 of Swords, right? A lot of the cards we will see, look at them indifferently. Yes, it's very similar to a 6 of Swords. Ooh, perfect, it was right there. Look, it is very similar to this, right? It's immediately, you know, this is Rider-Waite-Smith rendition. But look at the difference. This one has nobody in a boat, but all the swords. This one is helping, it looks like a mother and a child. This one is by itself. And this one is also looking back. What are you looking back at? And look at the sun. The sun is having one of those, oh shit moment. Where are you going, buddy? So already you are thinking about what are you moving toward? Is it good? Is it bad? Differently. So this would be the first one that I would recommend. This is a fantastic reader, super fun. Anytime I'm in a cranky mood, anytime I am just lost touch or zest for tarot, or I just want to have fun, or I just want to go there and just be very playful, this deck never, ever, ever, ever disappoints me. So highly recommend. Tony Leon, I'll link it below. Now, let's say you say, okay, Natalia, it's all fun, but that deck is a little too fun and still quite to Rider-Waite-Smith. How can you help me bust out of seeing those images? And most importantly, how can you help me be more playful with the deck? How can you help me not to have such a strong grip on it? The second deck that I would recommend for you then is the green menagerie tarot. I'll link it below. You can get it from the creator on Etsy. I think the creator is also selling it on Amazon, where I got it. Etched in green beautifully. Why do I recommend this deck? This deck is a combination that creator created of still a lot of very traditional Rider-Waite-Smith images that mimic, for example, this one, not mimic, but identical except for color scales. I wanted to say Anna Nicole Smith. I don't know why I'm thinking about Anna Nicole. Pamela's artwork. And then in between, there's also the creator's own artistic renditions and cards that don't even look like Rider-Waite-Smith. So this deck is the next option. Now, this deck is great if you want to still feel safe, but you now want to go a little bit on a limb. You want to, maybe you're not ready yet to grab something like Marielle, or maybe you're not ready yet to grab something out there that for you is completely different type of deck, but you still want to let go of that control a little bit. This is a great deck. This is going to be a great deck because look, you're still going to see images you recognize, and it's going to make you feel very safe. This is going to be Miami on the playground right there. See, it's going to make you feel very safe, and then you're going to see images that you don't recognize. And this combination between recognition of images and not recognition of images is going to be a fantastic balance for a lot of you who feel more hesitation to just go out there and play, because it will allow you to feel the familiar within the territory of something that is unfamiliar. Needless to say, this deck reads amazing. This deck, for some of you, may feel like it's not cohesive. Believe me when I say it feels incredibly cohesive. All of the cards sync together. I had a deck before where all of the cards were different images. See, it will make you feel anchored to the foundations of Rider-Waite-Smith when you'll see cards like this, but then you will be taken out of it and be put in a position to think more creatively when you come across something like this. Again, a very familiar image, and maybe less familiar Queen of Wands. And again, familiar, not so familiar Queen of Cups. Familiar, wow, we have Marseille one here, very unfamiliar. Something new to look at, to see magician differently, right? Somewhat familiar, which, by the way, got misprint of the numbers on this card. Familiar, something new way to look at the cards, right? A very new way to look at the Hierophant, and then you go back to familiar. Do you see what I'm trying to say? So it's going to help you still feel like you got that control, you got the grip, you got your Rider-Waite-Smith here, but yet you got something new. Highly, highly recommend. Finally, and this is my favorite one to share. And I am obsessed with this deck. And I think that everybody needs to have this deck. If you are ready to go rogue, if you are ready to take it out there, if you're ready to play, if you're ready to bust out your creativity, if you're ready to let go of all the control and anchor to Rider-Waite-Smith system, and if you just really want to have fun, and if you're ready to just let go of your preconceived ideas, sometimes we're so fucking serious with tarot. We're like, no, it has to have 78 cards, and oh my God, they have changed the elements, and oh my God, they have changed pages to something else, and we have a freak out moment. Honestly, I think we all need to take a chill pill and relax, because in the end of the day, the pack of cards is the oracle. And I don't say oracle the same way we use the word oracle to describe oracle decks. I use the word oracle the way we use the word the oracle, with capital THE in front of it and capital O for oracle in front of it. The oracle. Cards are still the oracle. And because it's the oracle, It should be the same way as opening up bibliomancy, right? Opening up a book, pointing it and getting the guidance you need, pulling out a card, getting the guidance we need. So why does it has to be constrained to 78 cards? It can be, and it is for a lot of us, and we use it that way, of course, but it's also equally effective and efficient if we bust out and mess around with it and fuck around with it. Remove some cards, right? What will happen if that card was absent from your deck? What will happen if you remove all of the court cards? You see, even saying that, for some of you watching this, listening me say that, you probably thinking, heck no, are you going to disrupt the system? Yes, let's disrupt the system. So if you're ready to go rogue, if you're ready to really do it, and if you're not afraid, and if you're brave, let's be all brave together. You won the Alli Man Tarot. This is your matchbox. Yes, come to the matchbox. It's your matchbox to have some fun with. Do you know when we were kids, we were playing with matches, and if somebody had to do something, everybody picks a match, and then the one that was the shortest one gets to do something. Guess what? Pick your matchsticks out of the box. This deck is in the deck. I will link it below. It is a deck that comes with. Let me explain what it is. So before I show it to you. So this is basically what the creator did was, and I'm not sure exactly how he did it, but I think what he did is he reached out to a lot of tarot artists and he asked them if they would like to have any card from their deck, or maybe he specified what card, I'm assuming here, to be featured in this deck. This deck is essentially compilation of initially 136 cards that each one from a completely different tarot deck. You have 136 cards. In that 136 cards, you have X amount of certain cards. For example, there's X amount of death cards. And the idea is that you can have the whole 136 deck, or you can pick and put the cards you like to make your own 78 card deck. Well, a lot of artists reached out to this creator and he ended up having a lot of additional cards. And so he created expansion packs. There's 3 expansion packs with 17 cards each and 1 with 8. If you put everything together, you will get, Mamma Mia, you will get a whole cow. You got yourself a cow that will produce a ton of milk. You will get yourself a total of 196 cards. I got all of the expansion pack because go big or go home. So you can do whatever the fuck you want with it. It is great size. Here's the beauty about this. This is genius deck. I told you, if you want to go rogue, I think some of you right now are probably, notice what you're feeling right now. Some of you are probably feeling a lot of anxiety just looking at this. Some of you are probably hyperventilating without realizing it, thinking, this is crazy. 196 cards. How many death cards are in this deck? There's probably 15 of them. How many, I don't know, magicians do I have in here? I have no idea. Probably a lot. I don't even know what I have in here, but I know I have a lot of repetitive cards in here, which I think is great. But I know that for a lot of you hearing this is overwhelming because it is disrupting the structure. Right now, what I'm doing is I'm disrupting the structure that we know as it is. Well, actually, this person already did brilliantly. I'm saying you all need to try to do it. Maybe with this deck, maybe with any other deck you have, but yeah, we just all need to do it. So notice your reaction when you're looking at this. Another thing that people say about deck like this, which by the way, has original backs of all of the cards. Another thing that a lot of people say about a deck like this is that they say that will drive me nuts. All these different artistic artworks, none of them go together. This is very schizophrenic. Yes, it is. And guess what? guess what? It does goes together because it is the oracle. It absolutely does goes together. It may not go in the way your rigid mind holds on to the idea of it, but it all does goes together. So you're going rock with this. I decided to go rock with it and use the whole big chalupa enchilada, the whole package. How you can use it, let me share with you multitude of the ways if you really want to bust out your creativity. For starters, you're going rogue. Yes, you are going rogue, but at the same time, you have images here. Let me find some more that are either very familiar Rider-Waite Smiths, or you have images here that are traditional Marseille. So while you're still going rogue, I want you to notice how there's still some images that will somewhat anchor you to that feeling of safety if you're still feeling unsafe. But I suggest, hey, just go for it. I'm just showing some random images because this is just so. And can you imagine having this many artists' decks in your hand? I think I looked through it and I was only familiar with 10% of the cards. Here we go. See what I mean? That still anchor you. And so many of these cards, I had never, ever seen a lot of the tarot decks before. You guys can find review of this deck if you want. I have seen this deck before, and I also thought that this was a crazy bananas idea. But now that I have this deck, I think it's brilliant because now I want to play. So what I was saying is this: what you can do with this enchilada. Well, for starters, one way you can play is to acknowledge that you're going to use all 196 cards, or if you're not going to buy expansion pack, if you are going to buy this deck at all, which I do recommend, you're going to play with 137 cards, and I recommend use it all. Just try it. Just try it. Just think about this. You're asking 196 cards a question. And yes, it has 15 or 20 death cards in there. And yes, and maybe it will pop up for you, and maybe it won't pop up for you at all. But what an interesting way to take the odds and to see what is the oracle going to say for you. One great way to do it is you can just fan out the cards. This is what I did yesterday when David and I, we were playing around, and I fanned it out for him, and I said, pick the one, and he picked the one based on the back he likes. So this is one great way, right? You draw into particular backs. Look at the backs the way you would look at the tapestry. Which one appeals to you today? Which one draws you in today? Why is this particular one draws you in today? So this is one way to read this deck. Another way is to read it the way we read it. You shuffle the cards, you ask the question, you lay it out. The beauty about this deck and the beauty why it is rogue that goes so well is because you get the images from completely different deck. And now you're really playfully thinking about what it's telling you, right? Look at this beautiful dancing dash, and it's dancing away from what I presume to be Four of Swords. Why? Oh no, the destruction of the cassette player, the cassette tape. There's so many things you can play around with this. There's so many ways you can allow your imagination to go. By the way, I know some of you are still hyperventilating. Am I giving everybody panic attack? Let me know in the comments below. If you're hyperventilating, it comes with a guidebook for every single card where the creator shares his interpretation of the cards. So at least you do have some anchor. Shh. But I say, why? Why have an anchor when you have this oracle? So another way is that you can use this cards, this enchilada, to really get creative and to this. By the way, this will help you so. This will go miles and miles and miles, in my opinion, in helping you read any tarot deck creatively. How can you not? If you just allow yourself to play with it, you are mastering and massaging that part of your mind that is prone to storytelling on the spot, that is prone to quickly weave narrative together based on what you see. That is exactly the skill set that all of you need, myself included, all needed when we look at the decks where we don't recognize the archetypes, when we look at Mary L, and we're not realizing we're looking at Seven of Cups, right? Because we're not seeing traditional Seven of Cups. We're looking at the other decks and we're not realizing imagery and we're struggling. This is exactly the type of skill set that helps us then to weave the story together. You can do and use this deck in multitude ways. This another way that I use it. I break it down into two random piles. One pile, I draw 3 cards to answer my question. Another pile, I draw 1 or 2 cards for guidance. This is another way to use it. Take the whole deck, put it in a box that comes in, which, by the way, sits so beautifully like this. Oops. Leave it on your desk. This is the oracle. Anytime during the day, imagine, remember this old, I mean, for some of us who are older, will remember this. When people had Rolodex, I think it's called Rolodex, right? On a desk, which is essentially your telephone book, where you go through little flashcards, trying to find the contact information of the person you want to contact. So here's you, the oracle on your desk. You're going about your day, and you want to see how this and this is going to go today, or what the card of the day. Just pull a card. Pull a card. Look at this death. See, my deck has a lot of death in it. Just pull a card. Ooh, number 8, my favorite number, infinity sign 2. Pull 3 cards and see if you can tell a story. Ooh, the King of Swords. Look at this one. Pull 3, 4 cards. Let's say, here's another way. If you really want to play safe, okay, those of you who are still freaking out on hyperventilating, I love you all. I say that because I hyperventilate and panic too. Still overwhelmed, but intrigued and want to play safe? Here's my other suggestion for you. Get the deck. You won't be disappointed. Get the deck. And then use whatever makes you feel comfortable. Use this, right? For your reading, but then draw a card or 2 as additional guidance or clarifier or whatever it is, or as additional voice. In other words, get yourself into habit, into practice of breaking out of the box we put ourselves in. A lot of us put in ourselves into this way of reading tarot box, the same way we put ourselves into the way of seeing tarot box. This is what Enrique's been trying to do with the way he's teaching tarot. I never took his classes, but at least the way he talks about it is to help you bust out of what you're seeing. Instead of seeing constantly, oh, this is the magician. No, what is this? How does this relate to the context? Weave the imagery and the symbol and everything that you see, the story. What is the movement? What is moving from where? What is going where? It's just like yesterday, right? If you saw and follow me on Instagram, you saw that yesterday I shared this from this green menagerie deck. Love this deck. This was my card for the day. And you know what? Yesterday, David and I were thinking about going looking. He needs new iframes that I promised to buy him for his birthday, like a man. And we were going to go iframe shopping. And then we were going to go to museum. So I looked at this card and I said, well, of course, first of all, it looks like David. My honey bunny is bald. This man is wearing glasses. And so I was laughing because I thought, oh my God, how great is it on a wish card? His wish is going to come true. He's going to find his glasses. And guess what? He did find his glasses. After going to 3 optical shop, we found the one that he fell in love with. I fell in love with it. He thinks more symbolically, right? He thinks more what's on the image, how the image relates to the context of a day. I can go on and on and on. Can you see? I just had me some coffee after lunch to perk myself up, and apparently it is working. So this is why I highly recommend Tony Leon, Green Menagerie, or this deck. All of them are playful. All of them are fun. All of them will do something for you. This one definitely a rogue deck. Definitely. If you can read and do Celtic cross or whatever layout you're doing with 196 cards or 137 cards versus traditional 78, trust me, you will never look at like traditional 78 card system the same way. You'll still use it. You'll still enjoy using the system, but there will be such flow, such playfulness to your tarot readings. So hopefully this was helpful. Comment below, let me know, do you have any of the stacks? How do you read tarot? Do you find yourself rigid? Do you find yourself bound by the structure and fundamentals? Do you find yourself struggling to stray away from it? I know I did, to some extent still do. I know a lot of us do. And I don't know what happened. At what point did we all convince ourselves that this is the only way to read tarot, that this is the only way to adhere to things? And so when I see creators who do stuff like this, I say, yes, yes, we need more. We need more people who think outside of the box, literally, because so many of us are just, we really need that. Anyways, I hope you all have a great weekend. Comment below, let me know what you think, and I'll see you all next time. Bye.